What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and in today's video is going to be another versus video, where I take on the hardest contents in the global version of the game, and we do a little bit of story time here and there right at the end of the video. So before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, guys, and I really do appreciate it if you do. First of all, before we do start, I do apologize that this video is late. Work has been pretty crazy and I just didn't have the time to actually just sit down and do this edit. But in any case, let's start this video. Okay, so today's versus video is going to be on Xande's Lufenia fight. There are two waves here, which is, very uncommon nowadays. Usually it's just one wave that we have to deal with when it comes to Lufenia. But hey, I'll take two waves. It's not that bad. Anyway, the first wave is just the Ocho Ocho group. You got the big one and two small seedlings. This isn't really that difficult, especially if you have any form of splash damage. Like obviously if you have Cloud, you got some splash happening there with his EX, his LD, and of course his finishing touch has that now. You can paralyze as well with Cloud. If you did pull for Xande, which I did, I ended up pulling for his LD. Well, actually, I was chasing for the Basura brother's EX because I still don't have Zell's EX, believe it or not. And I really wanted to pull for his EX, so I used about nearly 100 tickets and it just didn't show up, unfortunately. And I managed to get Xande's LD, and I thought I'll cut my losses and just, go with Xande's entire kit. So I do have Xande, which she has a lot of like splash damage. If you did pull for Beatrix, she has splash damage now as well. So this particular wave shouldn't be an issue at all. Now, in terms of the second wave, where the actual fight starts, essentially the Lufenia orbs, you do need to use some sort of dark element to deal some damage, or to, sorry, not deal damage, but to increase the Lufenia orb timer. So there's a couple of people that can do this. I wouldn't say like they're the best options. Like I guess the most used outside of Xande in this Lufenia is going to be Vivi. His LD has some dark magic into that, so some dark elements in it. So definitely something that can be a good substitute for Xande. And plus the Embers of Darkness have dark element in them as well, so every time take an own you take a turn, you basically be able to actually increase the Lufenia counter. So Vivi is the next best choice. The thing with Vivi is obviously he drains the party's HP, so you do have to play around that, which is fine if you have the heals for it. It shouldn't be an issue. Other dark element characters that I really considered if I didn't get Xande's kit was Golbez. Golbez was the next best choice, and then I thought about Dark Knight Cecil. I do have his EX, but I do need to actually EX +3 him if I wanted to bring him along. So that was another option. I think those were the two biggest options that I really thought about. I don't know if there was anyone else. I mean, I think Leon can do it as well. He's got a dark element to him as well, so Leon was another choice. But I was like Golbez, Dark Knight Cecil, and then Leon, and I was like, who else is there? I don't really know. So if you can think of anyone else, you can, leave down in the comments below. But that is basically the idea, is to do dark element damage on the enemy bosses. Now, the biggest thing here as well, or I guess the second biggest thing, is obviously the ult attacks for these bosses. Basically, they do a ton of damage. When you see that ult attack, just think of it as a Brave plus HP attack. Don't take any chances and think that it's just going to be a Brave attack. Consider it as a Brave plus HP attack. They do the plus variant, I believe, if they are like they have the aura on them. I think it only ever did that once to me, if I remember correctly. So the biggest thing I keep saying the biggest thing, but the way to counter it is basically for you to have Brave, right? If you are going to eat something, make sure you have the Brave, you're all topped up. And if you have Beatrix and you have the Holy Knight Guard ability, then you can basically, avoid getting HP damage, which I think is a really great option here. Beatrix can heal if you do take damage, plus she can remove buffs as well. The boss does buff themselves from time to time, and it is a great option to have to actually just eat that ult attack and not to worry too much about it, right? The other option, obviously, if you have Cloud, you can paralyze the bosses one by one, but the thing is, it is only one by one, but you can delay them. I did notice that they don't get delayed if they have the aura on. I could be wrong on that, but I noticed one time I used Blade Beam, one of the bosses basically didn't get pushed back, so I could be wrong on that, but that's what I noticed. I guess other options is just to heal through it, right? But overall, if you see that ult attack, I think it's just best for you to make sure you have the Brave or you have a way to deal with it. Don't get broken, because it is gonna hurt a lot, and I mean a lot. You can do the Amiditalian stuff here, which delay them for erase their turns basically until later on, especially if you have a dark magic or a dark element hero or a character. That is a great way to actually just make sure they don't do any damage at all, or they don't get a turn at all. Now that I think about it, I think Shantotto does dark magic as well. Yeah, I think she does. Her dark magic bio is dark element, and her LD weapon is also a dark element. So Shantotto is another option here. You know what? Shantotto has been one of the biggest WoW character for me that I didn't think I would still be using up to now, but Shantotto is still an option. What else can I really talk about this fight? I think that's pretty much it. It's just the Lufenia orbs, how to deal with them, and basically the ult attack, because that's what they always do. They love to do Brave plus HP attack. So if you are going to make them have a turn, make sure you're safe for that turn. So those are the two biggest things in this fight. I can't really think of anything else other than those two. Of course, if they have the shield, all you have to do is break it. It's pretty common sense on that one. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this fight. Alright guys, so we're towards the end of the video. This is the part of the video where I do a bit of story time. So if you don't want to hear me mumble or ramble on, you can go ahead and leave the video, but for those who are interested in today's topic for my story time is going to be about the next global first LD character. So I guess I shouldn't say character, but just the LD weapon itself. So it has been brought to my attention that we are not going to be getting a global first character. Someone mentioned in the comments below when I first mentioned about the next, you know, anniversary. I wasn't aware because I didn't watch the last community live stream, so that was the time I was really on night shift. So poopies, right? Poopies. Anyway, I do have some ideas who it might be, so I'll probably do it in a separate video, just like how I, you know, sort of predicted the next global first character. If you guys haven't seen that video, I basically had like 4 characters that I was like, you know, really thinking that had a good chance to be the next global first character, and Aranea was actually in one of them, and I could not believe it, that she was the next global first character. So as for this LD thing, I do have some ideas, but I'm not fully confident in it. The way I see it is, I do have to really still look into like the past banners and what we've had, but you know, sometimes it doesn't really matter if the character was already featured in the recent banner, just like how Noctis was still in Aranea's banner, even though he recently actually got his like EX plus on that particular banner not too long ago. So yeah, I do have some ideas, but I think it'll have to be in a separate video. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to actually edit out that video or make that video. There's still a few things that I need to do, like for example the next banner, which is going to be Furion's rework and his LD plus burst weapon. I still have to do that. And then work is going to be pretty busy as well. I've only got like the 2 days off right now, so I'm basically working on the Furion stuff tomorrow, and hopefully I can release it on the same day I actually edited it out. And then the next day I honestly want to have a rest. I honestly want to have a rest because I'm gonna be going back to work again for another 3 days, another 2 days off, and then I'm sure there's like you know, the next banner after the Furion LD plus burst banner as well. So yeah, it's a pretty jam-packed 2 weeks for me, so I'm not really sure when I'm gonna be able to release my speculation video, if you want to call it that, but I'm gonna try and release it before the actual banner comes out. I hope, but so look forward to it. I hope that I do get the time to do it. Yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting stuff. I did miss out on the VV banner because I didn't have the resources. I wasn't fully confident in you know, getting his LD, especially with my limited resources at the time. So I don't want to miss out on the next global LD weapon. So yeah, I'm hoping that Furion's gonna be nice. I'm thinking of pulling at least for his LD, but you know, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel and I really do appreciate it if you do that. You can always follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. Leave down in the comments below which team you used for this particular fight. It's a pretty interesting one to see which characters you brought as your dark element character. But yeah, that's it. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next level.